Woo! Come on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, baby. Day 2, we are back in full effect. Like we haven't missed anything. We came in yesterday, and it was a great feeling to come back. Like
It
don't be going back and
was.
the time off, but it was so good to be back and to see our familiar people that we love so much. So good morning, Miss Phyllis. Good to see you here this morning. Good morning, Cynthia Lewis. She said, baby, it's a winning Wednesday. You better
You better call it how
about
it
it.
is.
Speak it and call it forth because it most definitely is. And I think yesterday, I know we left everybody with an assignment, but coming in, good morning, Miss Patricia. Good to see you this morning. We are so I don't even know if I want to say maybe it's gratitude for me that the
Yeah.
becoming her thing. And I don't know about y'all, but we weren't the inventors of becoming her. Actually, when we started the book project, it was her, unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable, but that morphed into becoming her. But now I see becoming her everywhere. And I love that so many people are tapping into what it means to become the fullness of what
The
God,
fullness of
the
her.
fullness. You know what? And I think that for me is why I'm so grateful because little light bulbs go off, the epiphanies, you know what?
They do. It's like the light bulb. Like, really? That light has been there all along?
Yes, to fully step into who you are, where you don't have to apologize. You don't have to, kind of play along to get along. You prioritize peace, the peace that surpasses all understanding. When you can get to a place where you get joy in small things, but you know what the small things are that give you joy. Because a lot of times we borrow other people's things that give
Yeah.
us joy. Somebody said, "Oh, I married somebody who loves sports." So now you're a sports fanatic and you're out here and you're doing all that, but
Yeah.
less child, you don't even know what the people's names are. You don't even know what team it is. You cooking wings and cooking rotel and doing all that and inviting people over and you got the jersey on and somebody that might ask you who was that and you just like, child, I don't know.
I don't even know.
I'm hollering. You
That's different because you can support.
Yes.
But so it's difference in supporting
Yes.
and letting it become who you are. Those are two different things.
Yes.
I can support you and I can, my husband likes it, so I'm going to enjoy it with him. But
Mm-hmm.
I still have my whole identity. I don't like football, but I support him.
Okay. You can sit there and cheer, but at the same time, if you decided, oh well, you know what, he watching the game, I'm gonna go up here and read a book. I'm gonna go and listen to my music or
He
meditate, or I
probably
just
wants you to
want to
leave
get.
anyways.
Then you should be comfortable to do that. And I think what happens when you start tapping into somebody else's thing, you're sitting there and thinking, I could be doing 99 other things. And when your mind shifts, to me, that is letting you know you are not operating
Good
in.
morning.
And good morning, Miss Doris. You're not operating in who you are, and you're pushing yourself down. Now, I know all the time, like you said, sometimes it's support, and sometimes you might say, I really didn't want to go with Sparkle or whatever, but she asked me, and so I want to be supportive, and so I went. And it's two
That was
different
probably
things.
true. Angela
That's two
probably
different
didn't
things.
want to go.
Look, now that we're on Facebook, yeah, but at the same time, I love you, so therefore it wasn't a chore. However, the reality of it is, if you make that a regular occurrence. The one-offs here and there is fine. And would you agree to that, Natasha, that it's when you start absorbing other people's things into where you lose what you like to accommodate what they like and what they want and how they move and who they want to be friends with and who they feel like is fabulous. You know how everybody says, I hate Beyonce. But if you love her, then you don't have to go with the flow. I love her. She's great. She's amazing. She's
Yeah, I
a
think
artist. She does.
hearing you say absorbing, and the word that comes to mind is attaching, right? So we attach ourselves to people, places, and things, and we attach ourselves to somebody else's belief system or somebody else's ideas. And when we start to do that, we are chipping away at who we really are, and we don't even realize that, right? And it's this process, and it's very slow. So, I just want to rewind a little bit. You talk about becoming her. What a lot of people don't realize, the becoming her movement is all about awakening. It's awakening within yourself to realize, who am I really outside of these things that I've attached myself to?
Yes.
Right? And it's a slow process because it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that starts all the way back, even if you think about like in school with peer pressure and wanting to get along with the friends and wanting to fit in. And it just builds over time. And so, yeah, I can see where, we find ourselves, we like this person, and we want to, we want a friend, or we want to hang out, or let's say we fear being alone, because that's really the core of things, right? The fear of something. And so, yeah, I see myself, I don't really get into sports, but I guess I could like it for you. Right? Or I don't really want to go to the store, but I guess I'll do it for you. Or I guess you want company. And every time you do that, you strip yourself of who you really are and what it is that you really like or what you really need. And before you know it, you look back and it's like, you're so far down the road, you don't even recognize who you once were or who you are.
Right. When you look in the mirror and say, you know what? I don't even know who I am anymore.
Exactly.
I don't even know. Somebody says, what do you want, coffee or tea? I mean, I'm so used to getting coffee because that's what somebody else drinks every morning that I haven't had tea, and I used to love tea. When you start thinking little things like that.
Or you don't even know you like tea because you won't even give tea a chance because
you're hooked on the coffee.
Right, exactly. You know how somebody says, do you want sugar or salt in your grits? And you're just like, I mean, I've always had sugar all my life. I never even thought about it. And then you taste it, and you're like, oh my God.
It's not that bad.
It is awakening to who you are. But I want to go back to what you said, because we didn't lose ourselves overnight. It happened when you gave one yes when you wanted to say no. It happened when you had a disappointment.
You didn't even know how to say no.
Exactly. Or when you had a disappointment that you never healed from. Somebody promised you they were going to show up, and they never did, and you just never were able to get past that. Or you had a church hurt, because I've been there with the church hurt. That church hurt is something serious. Really. One betrayal. You thought somebody said they promised to love you for life, and then they committed infidelity.
But isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy because you're saying that one thing? Isn't it crazy how we let one thing influence us?
It's always that one. Just like you need that one yes, it's always that one abandonment. It's that one heartbreak. It's that one. I know it's
powerful.
It looks like, oh, it's not powerful. It's not strong. It's just the one. But that one
makes a huge difference. And I'm going to tell you how powerful we know the one is. Because Cynthia said, good morning, Tina. Cynthia said your identity is gone. But I'm going to tell you how you know how powerful one is. Because in the Bible, when it said Jesus left the 99 to go for the one, that lets you know one is a powerful, it's a powerful something. One person can make a difference.
One person.
Good or bad.
I mean, it's almost like how they have no longer pennies aren't important anymore. They have done away with a penny. Yeah. But a penny, if your total came up to 11 cents, you needed that one penny. You need that one penny and your 1% matters. Like, It matters. And even though they're doing away with that penny, you know how much that pennies are going to be worth later? Like, you can't tell me that they're not going to be worth nothing later.
It's crazy. Miss Doris was saying that she lost her voice, how to speak up, because she was always shut down. And we go into shells when things, you know what I'm saying? A divorce can change a person.
A divorce?
Losing a job can change some people.
Yes, it can.
Especially when they identify, when we talk about when somebody says, who, tell me about yourself. Oh, well, I'm the CEO of such and such. Well,
and now I don't get to say that anymore.
You don't get to say that. That is such a
that's where the losing comes in, or that's where we believe it's a perception that we've lost because we've attached our identity to those things.
Because we have attached it.
We've attached ourselves to it. Coming back to, I say this to clients all the time, and I'm reminded that we have the power to choose. We allow things to happen. We allow that one event. We allow that one thing to discredit us. And often, no fault of anyone's, is we don't know what we don't know. Right?
Right.
It's kind of like what Sparkle's saying with the penny. Everybody's saying that penny has no value. It may not have value today, but you don't know that penny's going to have value later on.
Yeah.
Right? And so we just automatically, we put so much emphasis, or we feel so much power into that one negative thing, versus why won't we do the same thing with the positive?
Yeah.
Right?
Right. For a lot of people, I think that's hard, but I'm going to go back to say this. Even though we're saying it's one thing that you focus on, that you feel like it's the thing
that you keep your eye on.
But it's actually thousands of choices that you've made to play small, to be quiet, to not do what you want to do. It's thousands of things that have got you there. It's just one thing that you focus on, that, you know how they say, the straw that broke the camel's back. That means the camel had a whole lot of straws, but it was just one. It was just one too many.
Yes.
And that's where you're at. It's like you forget all the times where you wanted to say no, but you just didn't, and that piles on. And I think we were talking somewhere else, and I remember that every time you do that, your body keeps score. So it keeps score in inflammation, and it keeps score in other things. You never even see it, and next thing you look up and you're like, oh, my blood pressure is sky high. How did that happen?
How did that?
Well, it feeds the I can't trust. It feeds the I'm not good enough. I can't believe in them. I can't believe in them. They're not reliable. They're not this. They're not that.
And Tasha, and put them all in a category. Why do you think people are walking around hating men? Women hating men, and women, men hating women. Why do you think that? How did that happen? It was not just that one person that cheated on him. It was the multiple. My mama wasn't there. My sister, my ex. It's the wind up just came, and that one
unraveled the whole thing.
The camel,
the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes.
It just goes back, and it's it makes me think of when you have taken out time. Today, I'm gonna be pretty. I'm gonna put on my pretty dress. I'm gonna take out time and do my hair, and I'm gonna do my makeup, and nobody tells you look good. Nobody says, "Oh, you look pretty." But then that day that you don't put all that time in, and you don't put all that effort in, everybody like, "Oh, you look cute. Oh, I love your hair," and you like, how? Like, I didn't, because God,
but you don't trust that. So even though somebody tells you, "Oh, you're gorgeous," natural, you don't believe that. So
you don't believe that.
Maintain that, because that's not in your belief system.
No.
But let's flip it to, even when you said, okay, you dress up and nobody compliments you. What if you dress up and you feel like, oh my God, baby, I got it going on today. I feel like $1,000,000, and somebody does something traumatic to you, whether it's rape you, molest, whatever the case may be, or
now you never want to dress up.
That right there is also a catalyst for you never to
do that. I'm never gonna put it. And the nevers, like, how do we put one category to I'm never gonna dress up again? I'm never gonna wear dresses anymore. I'm not. That one incident turns you into a never.
Well, now you're creeping into my territory about mental illness and the way things impact the brain. When someone experiences any level of trauma, dysfunction, or chaos, it sends a message to the brain that they're in harm's way. So the front part of your brain actually deactivates itself, and the survival part of your brain becomes alert. It becomes awake, right? And so when you're operating from the survival part of the brain, the individual is in that place of being obsessive, impulsive, compulsive. They are just trying to survive. And what happens is they develop something called cognitive distortions. And in cognitive distortions, you have that all or nothing thinking. It's either this or this, or we tend to overgeneralize that if it happened this one time, it's always going to happen. And that's where that never comes in. It's because the degree of that trauma and its impact on the brain, cognitively, the person's brain registers that that's always going to be the case. Right? So if you ever hear people speak on something and they say, yeah, I can't trust him, I can't trust men, that means the original wound is still there. And it has impacted them so significantly that they haven't gotten over it. They haven't processed through it. And so now they're trapped in their minds believing that this is just the way it's going to be with any man or any woman or any whatever, fill in the blank.
You know what, Natashah, as we've been talking about this, and kind of researching, one of the things to tap into what you just said is that pain has a way of renaming who God called us. So, it kind of reference
that is so good.
Gideon, and it said, God has said Gideon is a mighty warrior. Well, Gideon said, "I'm the weakest of the weak." What are you saying? I'm not a mighty warrior. But it says, but life has a way of giving you a label or a name, So if you've been rejected, if you've been broken, if you figure you're not enough, if you figure you're too much, if you've been divorced, that's a label. If you're infertile because you can't have kids, if you're single,
that's a label.
If you've been abused or you have failure, all of those are names and labels that society has put on us.
And put their head down on.
And we live in that pain. But God's voice is always greater than our experiences. And when we understand that your pain may have affected you, it may have introduced you to something, but it doesn't have the final say.
It doesn't define you.
What happened to you does not mean that has to be the stamp that's on you for the rest of your life. Here lies such and such. She was too much for the world, or here lies such and such. She was never enough, or here lies, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't go to that shouldn't go to the grave with you.
It does, but it's amazing how it takes so much control of who you are. Like now, you're past abandonment, but you still operating like an abandoned woman.
So it comes back to all I keep hearing is allowing and choosing. So yes.
And we have a free will to believe or
to choose. We have free will to choose. Yes, we are not immune to pain. Any type of pain, in any way, form, shape, or form. Every single person that walks this planet has experienced pain. One of the things I've learned into becoming her and in my healing journey is, how do I allow, am I attaching myself to the pain? Am I defining my worth, my self-esteem, my confidence, who I am as a person? Am I attaching it to that pain that I've gone through? Am I allowing that pain to linger? Because you said earlier about that registering, the body keeps score. When we don't heal from the pain, it stays with us. We're like a sponge, right? Yeah. And so all of that pain, we're absorbing. So there's Angela's word she used earlier. We're absorbing it. We're attaching ourselves to the pain. And as much as we say we want freedom, emotional freedom, it's actually in the palm of your hands if you remind yourself that you have the power to choose. Again,
you have the power to choose. Yes.
You can either choose to let that pain define you. You can allow that pain to cripple you. You can allow that pain to hold you in place, or you can use that pain as jet fuel for you to be able to cross over to the other side and be the person that God's called you to be. Right?
Yes.
It's a choice.
But you know what, Natashah? So let's look at it from the scope of, you're just driving down the street, minding your business, listening to your music, feeling good, and you get rear-ended. You may think, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. There was nothing major. They just, it's a rear end. But the shock of
that your body on tomorrow.
Your body has been traumatized and you have no idea. You don't even know it. And you think, I'm good. I don't need to go see a doctor. As long as they take care of my car, everything is fine. But over time, because you didn't address it, because you downplayed it, because you felt like, oh, girl, I ain't got time to go to the doctor. I'm supposed to be at work. I can't afford to not, whatever that may be. You switch from everything being well to slowly eroding to the point to where later down the line, you've got bulging disc or herniated, you got something going on, or it's triggered something that caused migraines. And because you didn't deal with it when it initially happened, and you allowed time to let that settle into your body, and you keep on going, and something else happens, you hit your knee, and next thing you know, 10 years later, you got a knee replacement.
Yep.
But it may have
But in that moment, that was the power of choice. Yes. In that moment, you had the power to choose. Am I going to go get myself evaluated?
Am I going to stop and take out time?
Thank you. That is the whole thing. In that moment, you could have said, let me go get checked out just in case. Because it could be a hairline fracture in your neck. And it may never bother you until 5 years later. And now you're in super severe pain. You're having migraine headaches all the time. Or, it shifted a disc in your back. And now, you might be like, oh, it's okay. I'm just a little stiff when I got up the next morning, but I'm okay. And then 10 years later, you running right here, bent over, walking with a cane because you didn't take care of stuff. Same thing for anything that happens traumatic in your life.
Same thing. Yes.
What it does to you and what it does to your mental health.
So that's the part that I wanted to pull out. That you operate and you move by something that happened when you was 5 years old. You was 55 years old, and you are still moving in that trauma pain from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. Like, we have to stop long enough to get that healing, even when you're 55 years old. Because you hear people say, I'm 55 now. I'm at this big age. Like, I ain't did it all this time. And who cares? You gotta care. You have to care.
Well, here's why you have to care. Because if you're still attached to your old wounds, if your identity is attached to what you believe to be true, if it's attached to money, if it's attached to a person, we are all going to experience loss. And that is why loss is catastrophic for so many people. That is why loss is so debilitating for so many people, because I continue to allow myself to be identified by these things in life. So when it's no longer here, I now don't know how to function. I now don't know how to walk in faith, right? I could tell you I believe in the Lord. I could tell you I go to church. I could tell you that I read, scripture. I can tell you all of those things, but watch how I react, right? And I don't mean react outwardly.
Yeah, no, because you don't show nobody.
Exactly. It's about
being blessed and highly favored, baby. Look, how are you? I'm blessed and highly favored.
Yes. But meanwhile, in the closet, in the bathroom, I'm crying.
No, you just came from the closet. You just literally
blowing snot everywhere. You just came back, blowing snot.
You're scared. You're worrying. Sometimes we're getting in front of God, and I saw a meme or I saw a video yesterday of a woman sitting somewhere and she's being given instructions. And instead of taking the time to listen to the instructor, give her instructions, she saw the thing in front of her and assumed to know what she thought the purpose was. And every time she took a step forward ahead of the instructor, whatever she did was wrong. And what it was basically pointing out was, we often we don't listen to God's instruction because we want to jump ahead of him, right? You're not walking in faith when you constantly are trying to solve the problem, when you're fixing, managing, controlling, problem solving, and you're trying to figure it out, right? Yeah. You are not allowing the space for God to come in and direct you and direct your steps.
But Natashah, I know what you're saying is so right. But I have to faith it out. I have to faith it out. I'm using my faith. I'm using my faith. I'm hurting, but I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt. I'm not hurting. Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
I was just having a conversation with a guy that's going through a tough battle right now. He's going through some things. And he said, but when I call on the Lord, I let him know how I have the faith and I'm going, like, it don't hurt me. I said, but it hurt. Why are you telling God that it does not hurt?
Like, he knows it hurts.
He already knows. He already knows.
I said, God needs you to tell him the whole truth. Tell him every emotion, every how it makes you feel. Like, he was like, no, I walk by faith and not by sight. I said, and you don't want to hold accountable. You don't want to hold yourself accountable to tell God, the all-knowing, the person that you can't hide it from. You don't want to tell God?
And the best part, that's what God's waiting on. God's waiting for you to just be truthful and be transparent. So he's like, what's happening right now?
This is the crazy part. I said, God is waiting on you to tell the truth. He said, like 2 seconds later, he said, well, let me let you go. I'll talk to you later. Okay.
But Natashah, what is that for us that is so hard to?
It's church and talk.
I can answer that, and it comes from absolute personal experience. We're overly, highly intellectual beings. We are using the logical part of our brain, and we're trying to intellectualize our faith. Mm-hmm. Faith is not something you intellectualize. Faith is something you emotionalize, so it can change the way that you walk with God, right? Mm-hmm. And so for those of us who don't like to deal with emotions, for those of us who don't like to manage how we feel and we think feelings don't matter, we're really good at saying one thing, but your emotions drive your behavior. So how I feel will manifest in the way that I walk, right?
Absolutely.
So I can tell you all day I'm blessed and highly favored, but if I'm scared or if I'm worrying, then the way that I show up in my life or the way I might show up in somebody's life is going to be scared. I'm going to be apprehensive. I'm going to be speaking negatively. I'm going to be doing all the things that are in alignment with what I'm feeling on the inside.
True.
Right? That's why we have to. So the individual that she's speaking of, and ironically, Sparkle, I was speaking to a male yesterday myself in a very similar situation. Something's going on in the universe. But
I want you to finish. Our men are going through it. Like
they are. They're going through it. But here's what I've seen in myself in terms of growth. In the past, I would have held on to that conversation to try to convince that person of what they needed to do or not do and all the things. And I said, for the first time in my life, said, you know what? I hear you. I've also said what I needed to say. That is between you and your creator. That is between you and God, and you guys will work it out. It is not my job to convince you of who God is.
Come on, high five. Me right? Too, Natashah. I wanted him to see it, but I couldn't. I'm not God. All you can do is give out the information.
Correct.
But you know how powerful that is for people who hopefully will listen to this. We have got to stop thinking that we control what everybody else does, because we feel like, oh, you're gonna do it. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, and we take on the responsibility that's never ours to take on.
Yeah. And then we get judgy.
Our issues and problems are a direct result because you're out there trying to be driving somebody else's car and you you're in the passenger seat. Are you in the seat? So you just imagine if you're driving a car with somebody sitting and you over here and you trying to stretch your leg and
trying to hold them.
Side over here is jacked up.
No thanks.
All of that stuff is messed up because you're over here doing something you have no business doing. Go ahead.
But if we think that we are, such religious or spiritual beings because we know God more, whatever, how we, I call that a God complex, then we're going to sit in the passenger seat trying to save that person.
Because that is my assignment.
Meanwhile, the car's about to wreck and I'm still sitting in the passenger side. No thanks. Now, somebody hearing this is going to think this is horrible. I need you to hear me when I say we are called to know the word. We are called to be able to minister to other people. But I always use Jesus Christ as a reference. Jesus Christ didn't chase nobody. He didn't chase you. He came with a message. He came to deliver a message, and in that he did, and went on about his business. And at the end of the day, it's either you were going to follow or you weren't going to follow.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
So
I'm going to get in the car with you.
Great way to put it, Natashah.
So I'm going to get in the car with you. I'm going to give you the message, and the minute that you don't want to hear the message, I'm opening that car door and I'm getting out. And I'm
let me check myself before I wreck myself. I can't wreck me trying to be in the car trying to tell you how to drive when you don't want to listen. If I say this is getting ready to happen and you disregard it, that's not my fault when something catastrophic happens. We have
and then but people would start blaming, like, oh dang, if I would have just spent a little bit more time with them, and I should have stayed longer.
People also have to have a readiness and willingness to change. We talked about that on the show yesterday, right? When we pray for someone, I can pray for you, but if you're not ready to receive God's blessings, if you're not ready to receive God's help, then, it's not that I did anything wrong. It's not that I didn't do enough. And this is where people begin to overextend themselves and they want to do more than they really need to. It's like, well, they're not doing anything, so I need to do more. No, you've done your part. They have a part now, and they need to be ready. They need to be willing. And if they're not ready and willing, I always say, like, when someone is sick, I can't take your medicine for you. I can sit it by your nightstand. I can give you everything that you need, but unless I plan on prying your jaw open and shoving it down your throat, I can't make you take your meds. And
but you know, Natashah, how many people go to the extreme? Oh, you're gonna take this, and they force the pills in their mouth. And it's people who go even to that level because they're like, oh no, you're gonna get that. And the beauty of what we're saying when it comes to becoming who you're supposed to be is understanding you're not God. You don't have all the answers. You can't give somebody every little step they take to get to where they need to be, because that's not your job to do that. And if Jesus said, you know what, if you go somewhere and people don't receive you, shake the dust off your feet and
keep on going.
That should not deter you, should not keep you playing small, should not keep you in proximity of people who clearly let you know, oh no, I got this. Then release it.
Let them have it.
But whatever happens is not your responsibility, nor is it your fault.
So let's talk about the people
nor is it your fault.
Let's talk about the people who make it their responsibility. And I'm going to tie it back to the whole of becoming her movement and experience, of becoming him. The reason why you're making it your responsibility, because there's something going on inside of you that you're trying to fix.
Ooh. Say it loud for the people in the back, because people don't want to hear that, Natashah. That's why me and Sparkle was talking.
Because they will be quick to say, oh, it's not me. I know it's not me, because I was there for her. I was such a great friend when she needed this, when they go down this
running list. And the reason why they're doing that, so I love that part. I'm going to create this running list. This is not happening on a conscious mind. This is happening on a subconscious level, another layer of your mind. People keep those running lists because they are hoping to cash in on it one day. They're hoping that if I do all of this stuff for you, and I show up for you, and I walk alongside you, and I minister to you, and I do all these things, and I give and I give and I give and I give and I give, that there's going to come a day that when I need it, that I can cash in, and then you're going to be able to give it back to me. And what often happens 9 out of 10 times is that you don't get a return on investment, and then you really see the true colors of individuals, and then you realize
you see the true colors
that they weren't really genuine and they weren't really authentic in their giving because they were waiting to cash in, right? But again, we do that not because of other people. We do that because of the pain that is inside of us, the pain that we haven't healed within ourselves.
Yes, Natashah, you better come out, hit the bell on that one, Sparkle, because I think that's such a good thing to point out. And I know, when we can heal folks in these conversations that we're having. Some things require, like the Bible says, some things require prayer and fasting for it to happen. Some things require you to dig deeper, to go talk to someone, get your therapist, or who can help you unravel some of the things that are going on inside of you. Because if this struck a nerve, maybe you need to go a little further. If this made you think, wow, you know what, I never thought that's exactly what I'm doing, but that's what I'm doing. I'm doing all this in the hopes that later on somebody will do something for me. But it's no different than people who play the lottery. You know, you got to be in it to win it, but how many years are you going to play the lottery and never hit anything hoping to win something? You can't get mad. Because you
can't get mad when you don't win.
You can't get mad when you don't win because you chose to keep doing this. So you should be like, hey, I had the money, obviously, to play this. And if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And it should be okay either way. But when you're angry every time somebody gets a jackpot and you just like, that should have been me. I put in thousands of dollars every year and I never get anything back.
But that's even in regular life. Like, how is she getting blessed? Like, how is she getting blessed when God, you go to God, giving your whole list of how did I not get selected when I'm out here feeding the homeless? I'm out here helping these people and nobody, but it's fine. I don't need no recognition. I don't need, yes, you do.
The fact that you're saying that says a lot.
Yes, you just went down the long list, and then you go.
You got that list, baby. Yes, you do.
I do everything from my heart, and I don't need nobody to recognize me. You want to be recognized.
That's why you say what you say.
Nothing wrong with wanting to be recognized, but just tell God the truth. God, I want to be recognized, and then if He sees so.
But you know what, Sparkle? The key to
me.
The key to what you just said to me is you look at other people and say, well, how are they getting blessed when I do this? But how do you know they're getting blessed? Who said that's a blessing for them? Or who tells you that you're not being blessed because you don't know it's so many.
Because you're measuring it by.
Because you're measuring it by the wrong thing. It's so many unseen blessings. And I need people to catch this one right here. It's so many unseen blessings that God gives.
So many.
On a daily basis.
Sit right here is like we ain't talking about.
You can't comprehend the level of blessings that God gives you every single day. Your brain is not even wired to understand the capacity of that. It's just like looking at a boat on the ocean. How does the boat still float on an ocean of water where you think it's so small? It should just get sunk up in there, but it doesn't. It floats. That is how God has all of this blessings that we are sitting on top of, and you have no idea because you don't register it like that. You think because they got a new car, because they got married, you've been praying for a husband, and you've been out here doing this, or well, why do I have to take all the fertility drugs and shots and all these things and check all my stuff? And she popping babies out like popcorn, and
don't even take care of them.
I think that has a lot. I think that has a lot to do with what you define a blessing to be.
Correct.
Right? Because one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Absolutely.
Right? It's all on what you're seeing as a blessing. Because, as a recovering addict and working with people that struggle with the disease, I have watched individuals who are richer than rich wake up miserable every morning because they're battling addiction. And then I can see someone who is on the verge of being homeless and be at peace. Now, someone will look at that and go, the homeless person's at peace.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
You're trying to save some people who don't want to be, who really don't want to be saved. They honestly are like, you know what, my life, I have no worries. I know where to go to get me something to eat. I know if I need some socks, a new jacket, I know where to go. But I don't have to worry about anything. And for some people, that is exactly where they want to be. And
they've resigned to that. And they're okay.
They don't need you to save them. They don't need to be saved.
Well, and again, we're stripping people of the ability that if they want it enough, if they want it bad enough, or they want to change, there's enough resources, there's enough within themselves, to get to where they need to be. And so can we just leave people where they are, right? Now, again, that doesn't mean you don't minister. That means you don't offer help or you ask someone if they want help. But if that person tells you no, or that person is not ready and that person is not willing, then you move on to the next person that you can minister to.
Because it's okay for you to plant your seed. And then understand that it's not your job to plant the seed, water it, prune it, and do all the other things.
And then you pull it up too. You want me to pull it?
And I think that's what we do. We go out here and think we Captain Save all the people in the world. And so you want to go out here and feel like it's my job to take them from the rooter to the tutor. And it's not. You can't go from beginning to end with anybody. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand what your role is. And Natashah, all of that goes back to how we are with our identity. When you start thinking and confusing your role with your identity, when you no longer have, if your title or your role disappears tomorrow, who are you? And you don't disappear just because all of that's gone. You don't disappear because you're no longer a wife. You're still a woman.
You still a woman.
Well, and that's what the chapter in my book, the first chapter in my book, was all about. And at the age of 31, when I lost the husband and lost the kids, and I attempted suicide, the reason why I attempted suicide because I didn't know how to answer that question. Because between my identity was wrapped up in all of the roles that I had in my life. And so as I started to lose those roles in my life, I believed that I had lost myself. Right? And so when you don't know who you are and you're wrapped up in everything else but God and who God says you are, who God created you to be, you're a lost soul out here in the world. Right? And when we're lost and we can't find our way back, survival of the fittest, we are going to do whatever it takes to either survive and or we're going to tap out.
One of the again, it's one or the other. It's either you're gonna tap out or it's gonna give you a push. It's gonna give you a push like never before. It goes back to if we would, our focus is not on people, but focusing on what we do and what God created us to do and how to do, and nobody owes you. Like it goes back to what God told me. Nobody owes you nothing. And the more I try to be like, well, he reminds me, nobody owes you nothing. So why are you mad at them? Because they didn't come to your rescue. When they don't owe that to your rescue.
That's a hard thing for people to, and I don't know, maybe it's because society has made people feel like things have to be this way.
In order.
You know, we have got so caught up.
I bought you a sandwich. The next time we out, you're supposed to buy me a sandwich. Like that. That's what the word. No, I just wanted to buy you a sandwich today.
Or if you bought me a sandwich and I don't eat it, now you mad because you think I'm wasting food. I didn't tell you to buy me the sandwich anyway. I really didn't even like the sandwich. That's why I didn't eat it. Do you know what I'm saying? We get so caught up in for everybody else because that's what people done for you. The reality is, I might not need you to feed me because I don't like what you cook. I don't like what you.
Well, let's back that up.
Back it up,
Angela, I love you. No, the thing is,
I bring it back to.
No, but Angela's right. We don't stop to ask people. We assume. We jump to the conclusion so that's why we go buy the sandwich. But we didn't even ask you if you like sandwiches or if you like sushi. Right? We
now
just assume
now you in your feelings, and the first thing you say, well, I bet you I won't buy you nothing else. I bet you won't get something else from me. I bet you I won't show up.
But it takes a conversation to just ask the person, are you hungry? What do you like? And hear from the person. But we automatically go into savior mode and they're like, oh, you hungry? You need something to eat? Here, I got this. Well, it's like, okay, well, I don't want that. and God forbid, I have an opinion about it.
Thank you. Well, then you say, well, I'm going to get you something. Let's go somewhere. And then you say, well, where do you want to go? Oh, I want to go to Ruth Chris. I'm not paying for that. What's going on over here?
Wait, you should have told me. Like, I'm only giving you $10. So I need you to stay in the $10.
Bring your thoughts on back, because we ain't doing that. Look, we're
going
or
you can go ahead and buy the Ruth Chris, and you'll be like, I bet I won't take her out again, because how's she gonna take all my money and because I like Ruth Chris. I take myself to Ruth Chris. Or some people are, I'm only gonna get Ruth Chris when somebody's taking me out. Like,
or the person can just communicate, hey, I'd like to do something nice for you, but I only got $20.
And it's okay. Because guess what? That $20 is the same as that $200. You still want to do something nice for me.
Yes.
It's about the act of service or the act of kindness that I think we
Let me tell you, Natashah, it's so funny y'all saying this, because my child has it real good, because she'll say, Mom, I'm taking you out to eat, but I only have $40. So $40 is your limit, and if you go over your 40, you need to pay. You're gonna pay the rest of it.
And look, set the expectation.
Absolutely.
But
we're not doing Papa.
That even goes to the point of when somebody come on, they say, oh, okay, I brought some food, here's some steaks I want you to cook. I want to cook. I don't want to cook that. You want that? I don't want that.
But it's
they be trying to do you favor. Look, like they doing you a favor, but it's really them doing them a favor that they want.
They're doing a favor for themselves. It's to make themselves feel better. I know that sounds horrible, but that's just the truth.
And when you do stuff for people, it does make you feel better. So it did.
But it gets to a point when we talk about that
from a selfish motive. Yeah. If you're doing this from a selfish motive, that's a different thing.
Correct.
Right? And you can't get mad. Just like, how you get people say, oh, well, I got her such and such for Christmas. I don't never see you wear your little stuff. I bought you that scarf. You don't never wear your little scarf I bought you for Christmas. Where is it?
Girl, I don't even know where that scarf is.
I probably packed it up and gave it to somebody when it came back, asking, do you have donations for the homeless or somebody? I have no idea where it's at. Sorry.
Yes.
or you be the person who packs it up and re-gifts it, and they say, didn't I give you this?
And then you're like, no, this is real story. You sit down in your friend group like, ooh, who gave me this? Who gave me this? Before I re-gift this, you trying to wreck your brain, because you trying to see if she's gonna be in the same category when you re-gift.
See, because they said it's a thought that counts.
But is it really?
You can be appreciative of good, genuine, nice things that people
do. Can. Really, but I can. But what's wrong with saying it's really ain't my style? This really not.
Girl, you can't tell somebody that because you'll never get
hang on. So that ties back to this entire conversation that we started.
Break it down for the people.
It comes back to you not knowing yourself or believing in yourself or loving yourself enough to be able to speak up, Sparkle. That's why people don't do that. You're absolutely right. Like, why can't I say, I don't like that? Like, I tell my kids for Christmas, I tell my kids all the time, I would rather spend quality time with you than you go Christmas shopping and buying something for me that I don't need or I may not want, right?
Would you say need or want?
Right. I guarantee you buy Sparkle a black shirt and take it over there. I guarantee she ain't gonna be happy.
I work out in it. But that's the only place you're gonna see it. It's at the workout.
Yeah, so, you're gonna see it with her working out. You're like, I know that help ain't walking down the street because I bought her.
Because if I don't communicate that, then I'm going to get a ton of Christmas presents, like Angela just said, that I'm going to need to probably re-gift or donate at a later date. And then that person's feelings is gonna get hurt when I could just stop you right at the door and say, I'd rather spend time with you than you give me something that I don't need and or I don't want.
Right.
No, I want the gifts. I just want them to be gifts that I want. I actually
thank you.
But that's where you advocate, because when you become her and you learn more about yourself, you will have the confidence. Somebody said earlier in the chat about, they've lost their voice. And that's the whole thing about becoming her. It's about getting your voice back and learning to speak up for yourself. Yeah. And so, yes, Christmas is, well, first of all, that's another day and another conversation, because we've taken Christmas to a whole other unnecessary level. But nonetheless, during that time, or even for a birthday, there's nothing wrong with you asking and requesting for something that you truly need.
Yes.
People get offended by that, but the reality is, I don't need you to waste your money, and I don't need you to do something for me that isn't even in alignment with who I am and where I'm at. But a lot of times, if I don't know who I am, I'm just going to take whatever you can give me. Yeah, we do it in relationships.
What about, let me tell you who's good at that. Angela, if it's your birthday and she's wanting to bless you, she's gonna send you a text and say, "What do you want?"
Period. But Natashah, what about the people who feel like, okay, so you're single and they think by now you should be married, so they start buying you kitchen appliances and saying, well, when you get married, you need to have this, and when you get, they're giving you things for what they feel like you should be going. But what if they're doing all that and you ain't the person that like to cook? Stop buying me all this stuff, and I don't even really like to do that.
So this is where you have to speak up and say that.
But most you and your husband has, like, even married people, and y'all are married, and you're not the cook of the house. Not just because you're the woman does not mean that you have to be the cook. Maybe he is the cook of the house, and you're the dishwasher.
And that's so many things, in the roles. There's so many people who say, I wish I would get outside and cut grass. Baby, there's some women who actually love doing that.
And they do it well.
I ain't one of them.
There's some men who cook better than women.
Natashah.
It is some men who do hair better than men. You know what I'm saying? So we switch up gender roles and we switch up everything, and you create confusion and division in your household trying to do things the way somebody else told you it needs to be done. If it works for you, then let it work.
Let it work.
Well, and then you have now. So we talked about influence. So with in the same line of what you're saying, a lot of people get into relationships and they're like, well, my culture said this, or my family did this, or we did this back in the day. Like, okay, I get that.
Did it like this.
But that might not be the case today, and that doesn't make it. Here's where we get trapped in. We get trapped in, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Is it good or is it bad? Why do we have to rate it, and why does it have to be so black and white?
Why does it have to be a right or wrong?
Wrong and I always say this when I'm talking to people. What I'm about to say isn't right or wrong or good or bad. Like, get out of your head with this polarized mindset of it's either got to be this way or that it's got to be this way. Mm-hmm. Can't we meet in the middle? Can't there be a balance? Like, if we look as we've evolved as people, we have stay-at-home dads.
Yes.
It hasn't killed anybody.
And they're doing a good job.
Absolutely. With all due respect, they do a greater job than some women are in taking care of their kids.
Absolutely. But then you have people who say, girl, I wish I would be out there working, and he's sitting in the house taking care of them kids. Girl, I wish you better tell him he need to get out. Stay out of people's business. And what's working for them. Stay out of people's
Stop trying to tell people how to run their house.
Thank you. And understand that people have, because that's just as simple, Natashah, is us saying, oh, Natashah, I love you. You say, oh, I got a pink shirt on. And somebody else may say, oh, well, that's salmon. That's not pink. Well, no, that's dusty rose.
There are people out there like that. Yes. And it's like, do I look like I care?
But it's people who choose to argue about things. If you want to say, girl, she got on Dusty Rose, baby, be a Dusty Rose saying she got that's what she got, and that's okay. And somebody else may say, well, no, that's salmon to me. Okay, then that's fine.
Well, I totally get off the color, because I've had that happen, and I just like, well, I still love my shirt. I don't care if it's Dusty Rose. I don't care if it's salmon. I don't care if it's fuchsia. I don't care. It's I like the shirt.
I was sitting at dinner with somebody, and to me, it looked like peach, but she said it was orange, and she was like, "Why would you think it's peach? Like, we're not good. Like, if you want to,
why is that even a conversation?
If it's peach to you, kudos. You and peach."
But that's the thing, right? And that's where judgment comes into place. We get so highly opinionated, and then we want to convince people to see things just our way. And when you find yourself trying to get people to see things simply your way, we get very judgmental.
That's it, Tamisha. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All kinds of things to say when she drove to family dinner.
This is crazy.
They said her husband should be driving her. What you say?
Yes.
I want to be behind the wheel because it's relaxing to me. It may be whatever your thing is, but who says somebody got that's where we get so confused and so traditionally oriented.
Look at him. He make her do everything. He even made her drive herself. Just don't do nothing.
She can't do nothing.
Here's the best part. So I'm going to use what you guys are doing right now as an example. Those individuals are being judgmental, but they don't know the conversation she had with her man before she left the house. That man may have offered to drive her, and she's like, "No, baby, I want to drive. I want to be the one that's driving the car." Like, we don't have the facts.
I got you. Sit back and relax. And now
what if that man had been working hard all week, and he might not have wanted to come see that family, but he said,
"I'm gonna go anyway."
But I'm gonna go anyway.
But I ain't driving. I ain't driving, but I'll go.
I ain't driving. But I mean, what's wrong with that?
To me, it comes down to the facts, because yes, you paint the scenario. What if that guy had a long day? What if the guy offered? What if the guy said, "Hey, I'll drive," because maybe he normally does, and she's like, "No, not me. I'm gonna do it tonight." Like, know the facts.
What if she's always the driver?
Correct. We get so opinionated based on our own belief systems, and then we want to judge what other people are doing. But you don't have the facts. And I always say, like, until you know the facts, until you know the full story, sit down.
And guess what? I'm not going to take out time to give you the full story so that you can have the understanding.
How do you know? How do I know that Sparkle has told me all of her business? She may have just told me the portion that she wanted me to know. I don't know all the intricate details behind that. Girl, and you sitting right here running with what she told me.
Or they would go like, "Angela, I know you know. I know you know."
Angela don't care. Let me make a public service announcement. Angela does not care. Let me tell you what Angela does not like to do. Ask a lot of questions. I don't ask questions. I ain't trying to figure it out. If you tell me, thank you. And if you don't tell me, thank you.
That's okay too.
Let me tell you, Angela is so bad. You can go on a date 10 times and say, "Oh, I went out with the same one." Not one time is she gonna say, "So what do you think? What's your thoughts? Until you open your mouth and say, "I think I like such and such." She is so like, go on 500 dates if you want to. If you don't want to tell the story about it,
I'm not asking. I'm not the one. If you're looking for somebody who is all up there, that's not me. I'm not. Baby, she can go on 99 dates, and guess what? I'm not gonna ever say, because in my mind, I'm thinking if you keep going on a date, it's obviously something that you like, and so there's no need to be. If you don't, then you're getting something out of it or whatever. But it's really not, because bottom line, if I ask you the 99 questions, so what? At the end of the day, you're still gonna go on them other dates.
But some people, and I can say to myself, some people are just nosy.
Yeah.
And want to be the know. It's some people that just need to be the knower. I need to know. No. And when you say it was okay, no. I know it was more than okay. So tell me, like, they want to pull it out of you instead of.
People who are nosy and need to be in the know has everything to do with what's going on within themselves. There's insecurities there. There are things going on within themselves. And sometimes it's just a deflection of focusing on somebody else's stuff rather than looking in the mirror and becoming her.
Oh, so speaking of that,
we're going to go and get off of here.
Let me wrap up on the last thing, because I need people to understand when we're talking about becoming her, but I want you to understand that healing is not about becoming someone new. Let's put it on out there. You're not reinventing yourself to become somebody new. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions. People often say, "I'm trying to find myself," but maybe you don't need to find yourself. Maybe you just need to remove everything that isn't you. All of the things you've done, all the places and the people and everything, and releasing the fear, releasing the shame, releasing the comparison of your life with somebody else's, releasing the people pleasing, releasing perfectionism.
Yes.
The performance, because some people are performing all day, every day. You're performing as a mother, you're performing as a wife, you're performing as a God. You're tired, you're exhausted. You can't become her when you're so busy performing. It's like people who are actors, paid actors and actresses, you know, and sometimes we get so caught up, you think that's who that is. You be like, oh, I can't stand such and such. That's not who she is. That's that character she plays.
Yes.
Oh, that woman ain't like that in real life.
No.
We get caught up performing her instead of being her.
Yeah.
When you can let all of the performance go, when you can release the things that are no longer you, that you do, and understand that before what is it? Before I created you in your mother's womb.
Yeah, I knew you.
Before I knew you, God already designed you. And he equipped you with everything that you have. You just got to get in contact with him, build a relationship with him so it can be revealed. Or what you say yesterday, Natashah, uncovering
yourself. And let's be clear that what we're asking everyone to do, it's not something you can do on your own. It requires professional help. It requires mentors. It requires working with people who have gone through what you've gone through and understand what it means to awaken, what it means to become her. You're not just going to get up tomorrow morning and be like, all right, well, Angela said this and Sparkle said this, and I'm not going to do this anymore. That's not how that works. Because all you're going to do is end up intellectualizing yourself, like we talked about with faith, but you're not emotionalizing it. And there's a difference between the two. So,
yeah.
Call Natashah.
Yeah. Call Natashah. If you need a sugar coater,
don't call Natashah.
Yeah. Okay? That part. If your feelings are easily hurt. Yeah.
And don't call Angela either.
But then again, maybe don't call me either, because child, listen.
But maybe if you get your feelings hurt, working with me would help. I will get you to having thick skin.
You're right.
These things. Yeah. Because listen, the only reason
to get your feelings hurt.
Well, and the reason why we're getting our feelings hurt is because the truth hurts. Someone is finally speaking truth to you, and you don't like the way it sounds. You're hearing it for the first time. It's like listening to loud music. It's a little obnoxious the first time you're listening to loud music. But once that kind of sets into your algorithms and it sets into your system, you get accustomed to listening to loud music. Right? I'm only offensive and abrasive initially because people are hearing truth and they're not used to having truth because they're used to someone pouring sugar on it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, my truth is going to set you free. My truth is going to help you see who you really are. And you get to make a powerful decision who you want to be.
Go on with sugar. It's time for you to go on a sugar
a diet.
Sugar-free.
Yeah. It's time for you to
I'm sugar-free.
Yeah.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free throat punch.
Yes. Sugar-free. And because sometimes we do need to remove away from the sugar.
Maybe. Y'all better research sugar and let it tell you what all sugar does for you. Sugar's not good. I mean, we like it, but sugar's really not good for you. Go it up. Go on and Google it. That's your assignment for tomorrow. Google what sugar does for you so that you understand sugar. Honey, they have hoodwinked and bamboozled us and put sugar in everything. And it's things that you don't think sugar's in, and sugar is in there. And sugar is more addictive than cocaine.
It really is.
Come on now.
Baby, so come on. We need to get to a place where we are weaning ourselves away from sugar and understand that, you know what? It once you stop craving sugar,
and then when you go bite something, you're like, "Ooh, that's too sweet. Ooh, that's too much."
Your body will reject it.
Same thing with the truth. Once you start getting the truth, then you start saying, "You know what? The truth, baby, is good, and it'll set you free. I don't need all these lies.
It will set you free." That's what Winning Wednesday is about. It's setting yourself free. You don't have to wait till Friday to get free, or I'm gonna wait until the weekend to get free.
I'm gonna start on Monday.
I'm gonna start next month.
Yes, get free now. This has been a great time. It's been wonderful being back with the Empowered Morning Show. You are a winner. I believe God. Do you believe God? We believe God. We believe God. We believe God. we will see you back on tomorrow, our last day for the week.
That part. Bye.
Bye.